All right. DC Comics really is the buzz out there these days. I don't think Marvel's doing anything that anybody really even cares about right now other than Ultimate Spider-Man. They've screwed the pooch on way too many of their lines. And with DC relaunching everything and having a new start for the first couple months, they are eating up all of the attention in the room for the comic book industry. They've really leapt over Marvel, at least for now. I don't think it's going to hold. And I think they are reliant on Absolute Batman to be the biggest success and to carry their entire line. And it's just not enough, is what it comes down to. I've read all of the Absolute books so far, and, we saw that this has immediately got some woke virtue signaling in it with the black Barbara Gordon, who's black for zero reason whatsoever. And they're just changing characters around so that's like, okay, Alfred's now like some super secret spy. Jim Gordon's now the mayor. He's kind of flirting with Bruce Wayne's mom, who's still alive for some reason. Bruce Wayne's not some millionaire. He's like an MMA fighter in some downtown gym. Very weird. And it just seems like they made not Batman, and then they throw somebody in a Batman costume and then do a beat-em-up sort of thing. And I guess this is trying to appeal to the manga genre because this is like that male beat-em-up sort of thing, fighting sort of deal without much to it. And that's, I guess, what Scott Snyder's going for. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of that makes sense here. But as far as something that like is building a full line and building a universe and renewing interest in DC Comics, I just don't see how this really works. Now, I've read the other couple of offerings as well. Wonder Woman, of course, an okay story. The best Kelly Thompson's ever done from what I've read. Again, it just doesn't feel like Wonder Woman. It's kind of like it just not Wonder Woman, only not. Superman was unreadable. Jason Aaron's deal, I couldn't even get through the issue. So we'll see how that goes. And that's the three so far. And then they've got Denise Camp coming in for Martian Manhunter. That's going to flop, obviously. Green Lantern's going to be a race replace woke fest again. That's going to flop. So down the line, we're not going to see really anything that comes out of this absolute universe that's going to last. Now, I know Scott Snyder's committed for 2 years, but I think sales are going to drop off. I mean, Batman is just going to sell because it says Batman on it, but sales are going to drop off on everything else by that point where this is pretty much going to dwindle out. And that's what I'm seeing right now. Now, in the main front on the DC Universe, there's just not a ton of excitement going on. Like, the main Batman stuff's just selling the way it was. I mean, there's nothing new really or interesting about that. I read Titans by John Layman. Pretty good. I mean, again, just like not super innovative or crazy or anything like that. It was okay. And some of the lines have just continued. Like the Flash has just continued. Like, I mean, there's nothing really gripping and building the DC universe here. I don't understand what they're doing. So I read this last night, and it just continues from last week's issues. It kind of builds early, as you can see in the issue, with some background Batman stuff of like how he became the Bat as a child, and then it ends up with him just like working against this like animal party group where you just see him beating things up over the course of the issue. Now, Jim Gordon's in the hospital after last issue. Barbara Gordon visits again, so she shows up briefly, and you see, like I mentioned earlier, that Bruce Wayne's mother is showing up as well. And so she's apparently dating Jim Gordon or something on this front, and the Batman has to deal with this. Now, at the end of the issue, kind of ends in like a little like introduction cliffhanger, like it did last time. Like they introduced the Joker last time. Batman uses a poker game to like get information on who these people are, and maybe it's tied into like the mayoral campaign by Jim Gordon's rival. He's not sure. They basically trap him and say, you know what? We want you working on our side with this animal party gang, this Illuminati group. If you survive the next few minutes, you can join us, and he has to get out alive. But this one at the end of it, instead of introducing the Joker, they introduce Catwoman, Selena Kyle, and she's, gets a couple of pages of like, she's going to show up soon. So you start to see just like the Batman names, but they're different. And there's just not enough to it to like hook you. Again, like it's fine. Action was fine. Actually, the writing was fine. The characters for who they are, which are not the main characters, it's just an Elseworlds that feels like an Elseworlds, are fine. And except for, of course, the race swapping, which is very obviously a woke agenda sort of thing. And that's it. Like, but why? What's the point? Like, why are we all in? Why are we pushing? This is going to be the DC universe. Will never be the same going forward. Like, I mean, it just doesn't seem like there's enough change here to be that interesting. And I do agree. Like Tom Brevoort actually said on his blog, we covered it earlier today, that these are kind of flashes in the pans. They sell real quick because people get some rubbernecks for the first few issues, and then they drop off and kind of go away. I expect this will do much the same for DC Comics. Like I said, there's not much on the rest of the line that just seems that interesting so far to be pushing something that like really is a hook to get you back into comics like the New 52 was for a lot of people back in the day. And the New 52 even died off pretty quickly. Like, I mean, it was the exact same thing. There was a lot of hype at first, and now it's bad, and then it kind of died and dwindled. Now, this feels like kind of the same thing with this initiative a little bit, another trying the exact same thing again with the exact same people, and I expect it to dwindle and die, especially as, like, they'll seep back in those woke agendas as they try to pretend like they're not there as much for the first issues. They try to hook you and then push it at this point is what they do. So, yeah, this issue's fine. It's like, an average issue. It's got a guy in a Batman suit who's clearly not Batman. But if you like just some beat 'em up popcorn stuff, there's nothing wrong with this at all. It's just all right. And that is not enough to carry the line, in my opinion. All right, leave a comment down below. And by the way, I've got my Hidden Emperor graphic novel, guys, which is going to be closing out this weekend. This Hidden Emperor graphic novel killed it on Kickstarter. They got so mad in the mainstream industry that I did so well that I got banned after closing out this campaign. They didn't want to mess with the campaign because I think they were scared about a lawsuit there. But they close it out afterwards. I am now delivering. We got the proof copy a couple nights ago. Looks beautiful. This is a great story. Deeper characterization, more interesting stuff than anything you'll find in DC Comics. Check it out. Support independent comics in the description below. Support our channel. And get this, because we're going to start shipping out as soon as the printer gets going, which will be hitting the final numbers on Monday. So this is it. It's closing out this weekend. Grab it here. Don't miss it, guys. You'll love this. And I do recommend, there are variant covers. There's actually a leather-bound edition. Grab Overmind and the Hidden Emperor together if you're new. Because Overmind's the first story for Ayla Rin, and then the Hidden Emperor is the second. It does read fine by itself. If you're new, it doesn't matter. But it does build the character, so it's something there. And I've got all of my graphic novels available on here if something speaks to you to join to check out as well. Thank you so much for the huge support. Oh my gosh, our sales are incredible, and we appreciate you guys for being there. It's in the description below. We'll be back soon.